Hi guys, welcome to my channel KP Financial and Strategy Review. Myself Praween Kumar. In today's video, we will discuss about important limiting factors of internal controls. What are the challenges and the problems and the risk you might face while designing and implementing those internal controls. And despite you have designed and implemented internal controls, under certain circumstances, you cannot rely upon those internal controls, and those internal controls will not provide a guarantee or absolute assurance regarding achievement of your goals and objectives, despite you design and implement it properly. Why such like that? What could be the reasons? What is limiting that? We will discuss in short summary. Before going further, just I would like to give a recap of the previous session. In the previous session, we have discussed about what do you mean by internal controls, meaning and the definition, and as well as benchmark of course of framework for internal controls. And as well as in that we have seen there are 17 principles, 5 components. As long as in any entity or any company followed and implemented these 17 principles and 5 components while executing their day-to-day operations, and as well as while taking their business or professional judgment, then in such cases this framework provides a reasonable assurance that that particular entity goals and objectives will be achieved. And those goals and objectives are segregated prima facie broadly into 4 categories. Number 1, achievement of accurate and reliable financial accounting and reporting. Number 2, compliance with applicable laws and rules and regulations. Number 3, effectiveness and efficiency in the business operations is achieved. Number 4, detection of frauds and errors at the early stages and reporting for the same. This is what we have seen. And today's session we will discuss about, despite we have designed and implemented those controls which provides only reasonable assurance, we doesn't provide any absolute assurance, we doesn't provide any guarantee that your goals and objectives will be achieved, despite you have designed properly those controls and implemented effectively. Why? These are the 5 reasons. Number 1, subjected to competency and control conscious. What it says that is the way in which the senior management, the way in which the board, the way in which the management takes or speaks or consents about the controls, in a similar way the down level staff also will follow the same guidelines. If the top level management is much concerned and very much respecting the controls, then in a similar way simultaneously all members in the team and all other departments, all other staff at the down level, top to down, each and everyone also will respect those controls and follow those controls and follow their guidelines. If the management itself is least concerned about the control, then in the similar way all other people also follow the same line. This is what it says. And further to competency, what it says that is, especially when you are hiring, the hiring strategy should be primarily focusing on the competency, skills, knowledge and the talent of the person. Wherever you are if you are taking a person on board who is having highly skilled competence, knowledge and as well as talent, then there is a high chance that your internal controls can be relied upon and as well as your goals and objectives will be achieved. Why? Because under certain circumstances you might face that in certain companies there will be a lack of competency in hiring, and as well as the persons who had, he will be lack of competency, lack of skills and knowledge. Why? Because is it possible? Yes, quite possible. Under certain circumstances, in certain category of companies, certain managers, in order to ensure that their authority, their responsibility and their accountability is not questionable by the team members, and their accountability and their responsibility should not be questioned by the subordinates, and their flaws and whatever the errors or inefficiencies available in the department should not be questioned by the subordinates or any other. So in order to achieve this, they will hire a person who is in a requirement of job, and those who are lack of knowledge, lack of skill, lack of talent. Why? Because if they are hiring a person who has a highly competent, highly knowledge and skill, they will find out these loopholes and they will question the process and the procedures. They will try to do the improvements. So in order to avoid the situation, they will try to take a person at a compromise of competency. This is what is this possible means? It's quite possible that because of this framework as mentioned, this is one of the factor. Number 1. Number 2 is, and as well as further to that, while designing or implementing internal controls or even while taking business decisions, there is likely possibility that human errors can possible. While taking a business decisions also human errors are possible. While executing the roles and responsibilities also human errors are possible. In such cases, if there is no level of reviewing and if there is no other level of authorizing or reviewing those errors, in such cases also it will be falling under category 1 only under subject of control consciousness and as well as competency error. Number 2, outdated or absolute. See, the internal controls whatever you designed and followed, that will be based upon the applicable business scenario and business environment and the control activities. And if there is a change in the business scenarios or activities, your control should also be tested. For a best example is, before COVID, each and every business process and the procedure is following certain procedures. After COVID, there's a drastic changes in the procedures and the operations and the way of the business is conducting. So your internal control should also be modified accordingly, and the people also should be updated accordingly. Otherwise, those old internal controls will not provide any assurance regarding achievement of goals and objectives. Clear? And number 3, if there is a collision. See, how much of best your controls are designed and implemented. If there are 2 people in a particular department are got colluted, or 2 departments in a company got colluted, or 2 entities in the group got colluted, then who can stop this? Anyone can stop the collusion? No one can stop the collusion. Even auditor also cannot detect those clear collusions. And if there is a proper collusion, if they done everything very clearly, very window dressing is done, then even auditor also cannot detect. Even the cost auditor, financial auditor, even government auditor, or even non-financial auditor, cost auditor, tax auditor, none of the even finance department or internal audit department also, no one can detect these collusions if the collusions are so clear, are so cleverly made. So this is one of the reason. And number 4 is overriding by specific people. See, here in any company, either go for sales process or purchase process or payment process or receipts process or audit process, or even any treasury process or administration process or production process, or any process, whatever may be the process, logistics process, procurement process, whatever may be the process, each and every process has certain workflow. It should have certain workflows, and each and workflow should have a certain level of authority, and there will be a certain line of control, and as well as there should be segregation of roles and responsibilities between 2-3 people, so that one people will do certain work and thereafter other people will review and authorize and approve. There is a clear cut of roles and responsibilities, and each and everything will, there is no overriding of procedures. But under certain circumstances in any company, if there is any specific person who is having excessive authority, excessive power, and if that person is continuously regularly overriding controls, or any other person is reporting to this person using this particular loophole of this particular person power and authority, if they are overriding the rules and internal controls, rules and procedures, then in such cases, how much you can rely upon the particular person, how much can you rely upon those documentation of the particular person, how much you can rely upon the decisions made by the particular person, and how much you can rely upon the internal controls designed and implemented in the particular department, in the particular company. So that is a questionable. So this is what the framework says. And number 5 is cost effective. So designing and implementing internal controls and maintaining, monitoring each and everything is not so easy. It's a very time consuming and as well as costly manner. If the results should be more than the benefit, if the cost and the results whatever achieved should be more than the cost, otherwise this project will be ineffective or inappropriate. Hope you are clear and with this subject. Thank you very much. Stay tuned. I will be posting series of videos very shortly.